This K&N air intake system is designed to increase vehicle power and acceleration by reducing restriction in the intake path. The intake kit fits the vehicles shown, as well as additional vehicles identified on the K&N website or catalog. The K&N air intake system is guaranteed to produce a measurable increase in vehicle horsepower. K&N has extensive testing facilities that include several chassis dynamometers used to precisely measure engine and drivetrain horsepower and torque. The kit includes components that have been designed or matched to the needs of the vehicle to produce a safe horsepower increase. Detailed installation instructions are included with this kit. The tools needed for this install are shown. Turn off the ignition and disconnect the negative battery cable. Lift up the engine cover to dislodge it from the mounting grommets, and then remove the cover from the vehicle. Disconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection, and then unhook the wiring harness from the airbox. Unhook the fuel pressure vent line from the fuel pressure regulator. Next, disconnect the crankcase vent hose from the stock intake tube. Remove the bolt which secures the tube mounting bracket to the engine valve cover. Loosen the hose clamp which secures the intake tube to the throttle body. Release the 4 clips which secure the upper airbox to the lower airbox, and then remove the intake tube and upper airbox from the vehicle. Loosen and remove the 3 bolts securing the lower airbox, and then remove the lower airbox from the vehicle. Remove the rear power steering reservoir mounting bolt. Install one of the provided 8mm rubber mounted studs to secure the power steering reservoir. Continue by installing the 2 remaining 8mm rubber mounted studs in their proper locations. On the inner fender, install the 6mm rubber mounted stud. Place the filter adapter into the heat shield and secure with the provided hardware. Install the provided mounting bracket onto the heat shield and tighten with the included fasteners. Then, install the other provided mounting bracket onto the heat shield and fasten with the provided hardware. Cut the edge trim into 2 lengths, one 10.5 inches long and the other 19 inches long. Install the 10.5 inch long piece onto the heat shield as shown. Set the heat shield on the rubber mounted studs and then secure with the provided hardware. Install the silicone hump hose onto the filter adapter and tighten with one of the included hose clamps. Slide the silicone step hose onto the throttle body and secure it with a hose clamp. Adhere the adhesive gasket onto the K&N mass air sensor adapter. Carefully remove the mass air sensor from the factory airbox. Then install the mass air sensor into the K&N mass air sensor adapter and secure with the provided hardware. Install the mass air sensor assembly into the K&N intake tube and use the proper fasteners to secure it. Note, be sure to place the mass air sensor with the opening toward the filter end of the tube. Install the 5/8 vent fitting into the K&N intake tube. Follow up by installing the 3/16 vent fitting into the intake tube. Slide the K&N intake tube into the hump hose at the filter adapter, and then into the silicone hose at the throttle body, aligning the tube for proper fit, and then tighten with the hose clamps. Connect the crankcase vent line to the 5/8 vent fitting and secure with the factory spring clamp. Slide the provided fuel pressure vent line over the fuel pressure regulator fitting, and then connect the open end to the 3/16 vent fitting on the K&N intake tube. Install the K&N air filter onto the filter adapter and secure with the provided hose clamp. Press the remaining 19-inch piece of edge trim onto the heat shield cover as shown. Next, install the heat shield cover onto the heat shield and secure with the provided hardware. Reinstall the engine cover onto the engine. Reconnect the mass air sensor electrical connection. And lastly, reconnect the negative battery cable. It will be necessary for all K&N high-flow intake systems to be checked periodically for realignment, clearance, and tightening of all connections. Failure to follow these instructions or proper maintenance may void warranty. This intake kit is not legal for highway use in California or other states adopting California emission standards. Check our website for up-to-date information on emissions legality for specific parts on specific vehicles and for a list of the other CARB adoption states. K&N makes products for nearly every vehicle on the road. The K&N website allows you to search products by vehicle or dimension. Download installation instructions, view dyno charts showing typical horsepower gains for this product, and view product details. For more information on where to buy K&N products, go to knfilters.com.